Welcome to the Elite League Podcast. We've got none other than the one and only. When I say one and only, I'm talking about unique, authentic, fired up guy, Mr. Joe Buchoff. Welcome.
Thank you.
Joe, what is it that you're doing right now to impact the world?
I'm going on the Elite League podcast.
Yes. Yeah, amen to that, brother. What we're going to do today, folks, is we're going to inspire you because Joe's got one heck of a story. Him and I were chatting the other day when we were going for a long walk after I ran 5 miles. The other day we grabbed a little food on the east side, and I got to know Joe on a deeper level, and it was great doing that. So let's touch upon that today. You grew up up north, Joe, and how was that really, though? How was that really for you?
It's a bit chaotic.
What do you feel? Where do you feel that in your body when you talk about your upbringing?
It's a good question. A lot in my chest. I mean, I've done... Because there are a lot of crunchy parts about how I grew up, and then there were also a lot of great parts, and all the crunchy parts, I've done a lot of work on those, so I don't really feel it as intensely, but there's definitely some in my chest.
Sure.
Yeah.
At the height of the chaos, what's one experience that stands out to you the most?
I think the experience of my chaos, I want to talk a little bit about who I am and why people should care real quick. Because it's like, oh, this random dude, his story, like, that's cool. And I think some people would be interested in that. But, like, if I share a little bit about what I've achieved, I think that might make people be like, okay, I want to listen to his story.
Fair. Send it, Joe.
Let's do it. So I've helped over 200 guys find their confidence in their dating lives by taking kick-ass dating profile photos, ones that are aligned and authentic. It's taken me around the world. I built this business up from scratch, from a place of dropping out of college and being homeless for 2 years. And I have a lot to say about a lot, but building a creative business has been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And over the past 4.5 years, I've done it, and it humbles me. Like, I set out to do something, and I did it.
Yeah, and you're still doing it.
And I'm still doing it.
You're still making an impact. You said over 200 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that thing that you posted on Facebook the other day? How this guy had, he swiped over 2 million times? Yeah,
there's this guy, it blew up on Reddit a few months ago, maybe like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Ish. And my friend sent it to me, and because, I help guys find their confidence in their dating lives, and this guy, he had like 3 fishing photos, and his bio was like, if you're not into fishing, I'm not into it, or something. It was just like, this guy just having no awareness of how he's coming across. And it's sad because I think a lot of guys, they have a really cool life that they could be sharing. A lot of guys have a lot of like really cool parts of themselves, and they don't know how to portray that in a way that makes them feel confident and that makes other people see their confidence. Because a lot of people in general have. This isn't just a photos thing. This isn't just a guy's thing. I think a lot of people in general have a lot of strengths, and they just don't feel like they're enough, and so they don't portray themselves in photos and in their posture, in the way they dress. In their vibe, they just have a vibe of like, yeah, I'm not enough. And like, what you think is going to happen to your life when you come to life that way?
Fair. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, you found 200 of them that didn't understand this, didn't realize this.
Yeah.
So what is it about you that allows you to see what they're missing? How do you know this?
That's a good question. And it's something that I haven't thought about too much until recently, and I don't have an answer. But what I can say is part of it is I've been into art since I was very, very little. One of the things that I remember, the times where I was calm and the times where I just loved, it was a special thing I would do with my mom, is we would sit down and she would teach me how to sew. I remember there's this there was this, I don't know how old I was, it must have been like 4 or 5. There was a shaggy brown towel. And my mom helped me learn how to sew by hand that shaggy brown towel into a teddy bear.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
So basically, at a young age, you've realized how to take something that's not that nice and turn it into something. Let's just use the word gold. Turn it into gold.
Yeah, and I think it's like have a love for art. I have a love for making things with my hands that are physical, but also visual art. So anything that is an object, or I guess a photo, and it's not quite an object now anymore, but taking something visual. And so I've cultivated a skill for the visual, putting visual things together. I also did freelance graphic design when I was homeless and traveling the world. So like putting together something visual that looks good is like a second nature to me. And so I think you asked, how can I help guys find their confidence through their photos and take photos that are like amazing, that just like showcase them. And that's feedback I've gotten for a lot. And I think it starts with visual art being like a second language for me. And because that's a second language, I can spend all my brain power just like focusing and dialing in and using my intuition to be like, it's like a feel thing. I don't really know how to explain it.
Did you happen to go the college route for art?
No, I was going to.
What stopped you?
So I got my associate's degree doing just liberal arts, like whatever. I was going to transfer it, and what I wanted to do was like psychology, I don't know. And then I was like, I'm going to do programming because I'm going to get a good job, make good money, and then eventually be an artist. And I got disillusioned with programming after taking classes. I'm like, it used to be exciting for me. Now it's boring. I was president of a programming club at Rutgers. And I was doing really well. Like my grades were fine. And then I started getting disinterested. And I was like, okay, let's take some art classes. Let me transfer to the art school. And they accepted me, but if I had transferred most of the credits that I had already gotten would not apply because it's not a liberal arts school.
No.
Instead of taking like history, you got to take drawing fundamentals, which I would have loved to take when I started college. And I wanted to do art school at first, actually, but my dad talked me out of it. So, when it was my decision, like then it's like too late. And so I was like, well, okay, I could hate myself and do a couple more years of programming, and then a job of programming that I'm not gonna like, and then make money, and then be an artist, or I could just drop out of college and be an artist right now.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah. What was that like for you? Were you scared?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because my parents were paying my bills. My dad really was paying my bills because he wanted me to focus on school. And if I wasn't focusing on school, I was like, oh, he's going to pull his support, which he did. And I ended up being homeless for 2 years. So I was afraid. I was like, what's going to happen? But even though I was afraid, my friend just said this to me a couple days ago. He's like, you have more faith than anyone I think I know ever. And he knows a lot of people. And I'm like, huh. And he was like, yeah, like the fact that you could, I mean, like, we'll go into it for sure, but like the fact you could just be homeless for 2.5, 3 years and negative your bank accounts, like just maxed out credit, like, no, and just keep going full force towards your dreams. Just knowing that it's going to work out.
So what are your dreams, Joe? Where are you going with all this?
That's a good question. I want to help. I want to be a source of empowerment and transformation for creative people.
What kind of creative people?
Just people artists, people that have a vision of using their art, of have a desire for creative expression.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can you see yourself doing this?
A few places. I mean, I have a long-term vision that I'm putting together, and this is something that there's a lot of pieces that will, form a foundation of it. Long term, I want to create this thing called a passion gym. Have you heard of, what a makerspace is?
No.
Okay. So a makerspace is it's like a co-op for artists, where you have a bunch of people with a monthly fee have access to a workspace that has equipment that maybe they wouldn't be able to afford on their own. So it's got to be a wood shop, metal shop, like 3D printers, like laser cutters, like lathes, everything.
Scissors.
A few, yeah, maybe a couple of scissors.
Gotta cut some cloth.
Yeah. Well, the one of the ones in Austin has a sewing machine that can sew through sheet metal because it's so powerful.
Oh.
Like thin sheet metal.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's power.
Yeah. So I love the idea of a makerspace. In the makerspace, there's like a blueprint in a way where you could like go online, makerspace.org. I think it's makerspace.org. I might be making that up. But it's like they have this framework for you to be able to make a makerspace wherever you want to go.
Sure.
It's like, a guide or whatever, a blueprint. I want to create something similar but different. Similar in you'll see why. I want to create something called a passion gym. And a passion gym is where people can go and they can find their passions. And they can explore different things. It'll be like a makerspace in that it has a lot of those things, a lot of those equipments. But the goal isn't necessarily to make a lot of things, it could be, but the goal is more so to go there so you can explore and figure out what it is that you're passionate about. Because how would you know if you haven't tried it? And so and it won't just be making things. There'll also be like philosophy classes, like college classes, but not in order to get a degree or to be indoctrinated into the way that other people think. It's in order to learn about something so that you can figure out whether you're passionate about it. And then there'll be like parkour, and there'll be like sports, like it'll be like this big like center where you could go and just figure. It's like a college campus, but for fun, not to get a degree.
Yeah.
And I want to make this into a blueprint so that anyone can make their own, kind of like a makerspace. So it's like the best of college. It's like you don't go in order to get a degree, but you go in order to explore a bunch of different things, and you're encouraged to. Like this is all just in my mind right now, and this is something that like all the things I'm doing eventually build up to that. And that's why this is like my legacy. This is like something that like I'm open to being surprised, but I would be surprised if I started working seriously on this in the next 20 years.
Joe Buchoff's School of Fulfillment. Why? Because the most fulfilled people in life are the ones that are following the excitement. And a lot of people are out there that are not following the excitement. They're living inside the box.
Yeah.
They're living in fear. They're not doing what they actually want to do. So by you creating that space to help people not just find what it is that they actually want to do, but also the support system saying, hey,
Bingo.
This is for you. Let's actually see you do it now.
Bingo. Because there's not a space where people are able, encouraged, and have the tools. Like everybody who follows their passions, they find their own way. And I feel like the world would be a much better place if we all had the freedom and the ability and the experience of going after and finding our passions earlier in life, so that we know that what we're doing is actually something we're excited about, and we're encouraged and given the resources and given the knowledge that we can find a way. A lot of people I've met, as I like to encourage people to follow their passions, a lot of people I've met have a scarcity mindset about that. Like, oh, I can't because I have to pay rent and this is my job. And like there's like a grid of immovable parts.
Yeah. When Tim Ferriss said in his book, there's always a lateral option.
Yeah.
So plug into your systems. Let's help find a way to get to that lateral option.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's a dream space.
Yeah. And the first step is for me to build my own life where I'm following my passions and then using that to inspire and empower other people to do the same. And that's already been happening.
Yeah.
That's already been happening.
Yeah, you're doing it. Mm-hmm. You're living your dream life. How's that feel?
It feels great. It feels great. It's it feels great in the large scheme, but then also sometimes in the micro, there's stuff to work through. So like,
I think it's always
yeah. But I like that though, because it's like the end goal isn't necessarily to have a life that's easy all the time. It's to have a life that's hard and to enjoy it.
Yeah.
To be able to enjoy the journey. And so, like even just recently, I've become disillusioned with in my business promising results and like focusing on results, because like I get results for a lot of clients. I think I get the best results that are out there. But if I have guys coming to me that, and this is a journey I've been through with my own dating life. I have guys coming to me that are like, hey, like I'm really like just depressed. Like women aren't matching with me. I'm not. And then they come to me and they're like, hey, like I'm really like essentially I want to be happy and this is stopping me from being happy. And then my response so far has been, yes, it has been. Let's focus on that more. And it's like, that's not really that helpful. Like if I'm, part of a problem with somebody who isn't having a dating life that isn't helpful is not having the dating life. But part of the problem is that the decision that like this needs to change or I can't be happy. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like to really help somebody with their dating life, I get to help them with their dating life, but I also get to help them with their approach towards dating in general and how they think about it. Because if I'm coming to the table like I can't be happy unless I have a girlfriend, or unless I'm sleeping with 3 girls every week, or unless I have a wife, like I'm like that puts a lot of pressure, and that's gonna be difficult for me to find happiness. And I'm responsible for some weddings, I'm responsible for some marriages, I'm responsible for a lot of relationships, I'm responsible for a lot of happy bachelors, who are sleeping around and having the time of their lives. Like I'm responsible for that, but I've become very disillusioned with focusing on like, okay, you're not happy, let's get you girls. Like that feels weird to me. So I've shifted my business to like, yes, you're going to get results. Most of my clients get results, but let's not focus on that. I'm going to help you uncover and find and capture your confidence through the photo shoot. It's a transformative experience that's going to take you, and you're going to look at those photos and be like, I'm a fucking stud. What? I didn't realize how fucking attractive I am. I'm a badass. And then the results are secondary. Like that's not the focus. Like, yeah, I'm going to do some stuff to help you with that specifically too. But like the focus is I want to capture the authentic fucking sexy stud that most guys have underneath the shell.
What Joe was saying is true, by the way. We had a real estate photo shoot, and yet the picture came out like one of the most incredible dating profile pictures I've ever seen in my life of myself, which I was like, what the heck is even this? And then, look, that was not the intention, all right? Strictly business. And I got a girlfriend, and I'm happy in my relationship. Sidebar, the DMs are flowing in, all right? And they still flow in, all because of the pictures Joe took. I'm not making this up. I'm not gassing my buddy up. This is real life experience. So what Joe is saying is true. Keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a fun shoot. That was a really fun
time,
shoot.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a thing for me on my mind for the past few months. It's like, because I've gone from a journey of focusing on women and, having some success, having some fun, having a girlfriend here and there, focusing on women for my happiness. And I've gone on a journey which, really fucking, I had to go super deep. Can I say fucking on here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, you can say it as much as you want.
Fucking.
Yeah.
And I shifted to a place where I've found my inherent worth. The whole I am enough. I found that. I am that. I embody that. Stuff happens, and yeah, I feel emotional about things, and maybe I'm thrown off here and there, but I never doubt that I'm worthy anymore because of all the work I've done. And my business, I started my business. There's a funny kind of like thing I say, which is 100% true. People ask, how'd you get into that? And I'm like, well, I was lonely and horny, so I picked up a camera and took some photos with a friend. And that's the origin story. But when I think about that, it's like, okay, I started the business from a place of lack, I started the business from I'm not enough. I need women to make me feel good. And that was baked into the foundation of the business.
And then you realized.
Yeah.
Similar to this, okay? There's people that start businesses because I want to make a lot of money. And then you make the money. And then you're unfulfilled. And you're still not happy. And then you got a decision to make. Just like you found that you had a decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
Not about money, more so about who you are and why you're doing the business. You've got to pivot. So what did you pivot to? You pivot towards helping people grow to become a better version of themselves, which is endless.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, 100%. The infinite game. If you don't have an infinite game, then you have... I mean, Simon Sinek has a couple great books about this. Start With Why and a book called The Infinite Game.
Yeah.
And fucking, I love both of those books. And they really helped me build my business. I mean, when I was... Start With Why actually helped me build... I was homeless. I remember I was in a fucking... there's a bed and breakfast in section of Cali, Colombia. And I was staying there without paying. I promised to pay at the end. That's a fucking crazy story because I had to pawn my phone in Spanish. That's a crazy story. That's a whole... Take the whole podcast to go over that one. So I did pay, but I ended up having to sell my phone in Spanish. It was 1% battery life, and I had to unlock it. I had to like go on an app and unlock to make sure that it could work on anything other than T-Mobile at the time. And I went from pawn shop to be like, because that's a crazy story, and then that would be a long tangent, but it was fun. Anyway, I almost got arrested because I didn't pay for the bed and breakfast, and then I pawned my phone, which was like, I didn't know if I could, but I'm just like, fuck it. That was fun. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to go into detail, but it's like I'm like pulled in two directions. But yeah, I was at a bed and breakfast, and I was listening to Start With Why.
Yeah.
And I was negative in all my accounts. Like I wasn't paying for the bed and breakfast. Like I didn't know how to. Sometimes I would sit in a cafe and eat sugar packets because I didn't have any food. I was that broke. It was like I was fucking broke, and there were actually a few nights where I slept on the street when I was in Colombia. But I was poor outside of me, but I was so abundant inside of me that I'm like, I don't care. Like I had such trust and surrender that I'm like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. Like such faith. That's what my friend was saying. I had such faith. Where I was like, it's gonna work out. And I wasn't like, I was freaking out in a lot of ways. My nervous system was not happy.
Sure.
But at the same time, I was reading Start With Why, and I'm like, what's my fucking 50-year vision? I was like, and so that's what I did. I remember sitting down. I found some nature spot. I sat down, and I was like, what's my why? And I realized my why was helping people build a life they love, helping people break past their boundaries of like, that whole grid, that lockstep that I talked about.
Yeah.
It's like, I think most people are operating with like, oh, I can't do this because this, and then that can't shift because of that, and that can't shift because of that. A lot of people are operating in that spot.
If you say you can't, you won't.
Exactly. You can or you can't, it's, whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Love him or hate him, he's probably not the nicest person to be around, but he was a fucking smart cookie, and he was a big builder, and he built a lot of big things.
I heard he was shaking people's hands out front of the factory when they were walking.
That's cool as fuck.
That's what I heard. Sounds like a nice thing.
That sounds like a nice thing to me too.
Oh.
Yeah.
First time I ever heard that.
I haven't met the guy. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
He hasn't been around for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
This one's for Henry Ford.
Thank you, Henry Ford, for creating the assembly line.
There's no better time to get your moving in than right now. And I want to be the guy to help you with your next move. What's going on, Texas? This is your favorite mover, Mark. Our job and our intention is to make moving fun. Moving is already a stressful task. While you have this big transition in your life, life is still life. There's still work, there's still kids. We come to alleviate all of that stress and make your move effortlessly. And we are a full service, one-stop shop moving service. Full packing services, moving services, and we also have an in-house cleaning services to make your home move-in ready. Make your next move your best move and give us a call and we'll take care of the rest.
So right now you're at a pivotal point because you have the aim to grow your business to a certain extent and implement leverage because you're thinking big. The only way to get big is through leverage. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so one of the next things that I'm building up is my personal brand. So I've started to write more blog posts. You've seen some of those on Facebook. I started to actually create another site for my personal brand because Dating Unchained has become pretty big. Some of the stuff that I've done has actually caught on. I've worked with some big dating coaches out there. I've done a couple of collaborations, and just the fact that I do good work has gotten me a reach. But like for me to jump to the next thing, if I don't have a personal brand for everything that I do gets tied to Joe Buchoff, and then I can use Joe Buchoff to like create the next thing and like give it already, like I'll have an audience, like I might as well not be really creating. Like my goal for myself, and this comes from doing some wealth dynamics work. Do you know wealth dynamics?
No.
Okay, it's pretty cool.
That,
That's like,
wait, the 7 colors? There's like colors that have to do with it, right?
yeah, there's like a whole chart. It's colorful. Yeah.
Jinx sent it to me.
Oh yeah, Jing's super into it. Yeah. It's the same thing. Almost called a star profile. And star, it's in between dynamo and blaze, which is ideas and people. And my job, or not my job, but what I gravitate towards is bringing ideas to people. And the way that I do that is by taking the spotlight. Like here, this is in my strength. This is one thing I'm very good at, is creating a brand, creating a name, creating a image, creating an image. That's me. It's taken by a girl I was dating for a while, my last girlfriend. And then that's my client. And that's me in process of taking photos of my client. I'm really, really good at that. I have and this is from feedback gotten from other people. I have a talent for seeing somebody and being like, bam, bam, look, oh, what the fuck, that's crazy. You know, I can see somebody, I can see their strengths, I can translate it into a brand. And that's my strength. And so like, I need to be stepping into that with my personal brand and be like, what does Joe Buchoff stand for? Who is he? What is his purpose? What is his why? And for it to grow that. So that's my intermediate goal. My first, my primary goal, build up Dating Unchained.
Yeah.
Now that it's more aligned, I feel more excited to like go head first into it. Build that up to give me the resources I need, and then build up my personal brand to leverage so that everything I create now builds equity in like, oh, Joe Buchoff, he's reliable, he builds good stuff. This is his vision, this is his mission. So if anybody who has a similar mission or wants to be benefited by that mission will be drawn to it. And then the more good that I do in the world and the more I tie it to my personal brand, then I can leverage that to create the Passion Gym and all the other things that I want to create.
Dang. You don't happen to have your life's definite purpose written on paper, do you?
My life what?
Your life's definite purpose.
Is that like is
Like
that
the
a particular
purpose,
thing?
you get to choose.
Yeah.
And it's a written statement that you get to say whenever you want to.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all about you and your purpose of what you want to do, who you are. If you don't, I think that you have a very strong grasp of your purpose here. I think you do. It's clear to see. And I think that part of being, anybody of influence or anybody with high goals in their lives, it's like stepping into a room and everybody knowing exactly what you're there to do. And I think that you have that ability because you're tapped in. You're tuned in. Yeah. At what point in time did all that shift for you? Because it probably wasn't always like this.
Like clarity on my purpose?
That's right.
I think the clarity on my purpose came when I decided to drop out of college and pursue. So the whole reason I dropped out of college, in 2015, I was going to college and I was trying some entrepreneurial things. I was going to the makerspace on campus at Rutgers, the Rutgers Makerspace, and I was just throwing stuff at the wall because I knew I wanted to live life on my own terms. I knew I wanted to build a life where I was in charge of my schedule. I knew I wanted to build a life where I was using my creative gifts and passion for making things and visual art to help other people to receive resources and to, I wanted that. I wanted to be a creative entrepreneur. And I chose software engineering as a major because I thought it would be the easiest path at the time. If I got a good job, made, mid six figures or low six figures, 100, 200,000 a year, saved it, and then like shifted into that. That was my path. And the universe had other thoughts. Like it was something much bigger than me that was pulling me. It was very clear. Like everything just lined up, and like I just felt like something had a hook in me, was pulling me to like, you got to drop out of college, and it hurt every day, hurt more and more and more. And like for like one specific thing that happened was I was in a class, which was like a super sought after class at Rutgers, called Harry Potter and the Hero's Journey. It was like a seminar, and it was in the sociology department. I wasn't a sociology major, but I love sociology. It's fascinating to me. And it's hard class to get in, but at the time I had enough credits to be a junior, so I was one of the early, like I could choose classes early. And so I'm like, and I was also president of the Harry Potter club on campus.
There you go.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. Like I'm going to do this class. And the Hero's Journey.
No.
Okay. So
I don't.
I fucking love the Hero's Journey. I'll give you a brief overview so we can get on with the other part. But for you and anyone else who doesn't know what the Hero's Journey is, it's an archetypical story that every story that speaks to us at a heart level can like essentially be distilled to the hero's journey. It's an archetypical story.
Sure.
A myth. And it is, life is lifing. The protagonist is unhappy and wants to leave safety of the village to go find something new, to search for something, whether it's something in the fulfillment or whether it's like an actual thing or whatever. Then they go out, faces a lot of challenges, faces himself, finds the thing, comes back, and the village welcomes him, and then he shares his thing. There's a lot of more parts to it.
Sure.
There's the final boss and everything, and there's the evil that lurks, and there's the unknown, and there's like the why. There's a lot of different aspects to it, but that's the general story. And because like in the village, like you don't like everything's known and it's all safe, but like you don't have that new thing. You don't have that exciting like jump of insight or of prosperity that you need to go out into the danger, into the woods to get. And so I was in this class, Harry Potter and the Hero's Journey. It was analyzing Harry Potter through the lens of the hero's journey. And the second or third class, the professor was like, yeah, so we're all going to talk, it was about symbols, the sociology of symbols. So we got into groups, we all thought of a symbol in reality, and then we analyzed that symbol to get some insight. I don't remember exactly the thing, but we were analyzing symbols in society.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And our symbol was the dark mark, which if you've read Harry Potter or watched the movies, it is a tattoo. It's actually not unsimilar to this, which is kind of funny. It's a tattoo of a skull with a snake coming out of its mouth. And if you're one of the Death Eaters, which is a disciple of Voldemort, you would touch it, and it could send signals to others, other Death Eaters. Like it's like a magical tattoo that was also like part of being a Death Eater, and it meant you were a Death Eater. And if it was like a commitment that you made when you became a Death Eater to have this dark mark on you.
Whoa.
Or it's actually, let me be clear. That's the tattoo. The dark mark is also just the snake with the skull with the snake. It's not necessarily just the tattoo.
Yeah.
But it's the skull with the snake. And so we were like, yeah, like our group decided on the dark mark. And the professor was like, oh, what's the dark mark? And I'm like, you're teaching this class about analyzing Harry Potter. Shouldn't you know what the dark mark is?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, like I took it over from this other professor last minute, and I'm still reading the 4th book. And it was at the beginning of the 4th book, so she must have just started the first couple pages because it was in the first or second chapter, or second or third chapter of the 4th book. And I was like, okay, I don't fucking trust you anymore. And I had already like been losing trust. I'd already been like thinking about dropping out. And I'm like, and I already felt pulled. Like I was like, I need to go on a hero's journey. Like this, like I don't want to be in a class thinking about the hero's journey.
Yeah.
And I was in an entrepreneurial class as well. And the entrepreneur class was like, I was like, when are we going to build a business? And he's like, oh, the final project. I'm like, like, why are we learning? We need to be practicing. We need to be doing this in the world. We can't just be learning how to build a business from a fucking textbook. Isn't that what entrepreneurship is? Shouldn't all our projects, shouldn't we mostly be doing this out in the universe and coming in and like debriefing?
Yeah.
Like what are you and then just all these, I just got so disillusioned with university and what it was. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just being indoctrinated into fucking bullshit. You know, I was that asshole at the front of the class that was just asking all the questions that everyone had but nobody wanted to say. In like a 300-person auditorium, the good professors loved me. The professors that didn't know what they were talking about hated me because I didn't give a shit. I wanted to get the value out of it, and I wasn't getting the value out of it. And I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to drop out and travel the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to answer your question that started this all, which was why... Like, I think you said what gave me that, the faith, or like why, like...
What was a pivotal moment?
Pivotal moment was when that was the pivotal moment. When I finally decided to make it happen. I bought tickets to Colombia. I didn't have the money to like, I had the money for tickets. And I'm just like, I don't care. Like, it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's going to work out. I'm going to go there.
Dang.
Yeah.
Why Colombia?
I remember what your question was. Your question was how did I get clear on my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
And how am I so clear on my purpose, and why was there ever a moment where it wasn't like that? And the reason that I'm so clear on my purpose is because the universe fucking hazed me, essentially.
Did it?
Yeah. Because I was searching for a hero's journey. I was searching for a purpose. I was searching for, like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And the universe is like, okay, cool. How bad do you want it? What if to go there, you have to be homeless for a few years? What if to go there, all your family is going to be calling you, trying to scare you out of it, trying to be like, hey, we'll pay for everything if you go back to university. We'll pay for your rent if you go back to university. Like, this is dangerous. What the fuck are you doing? Stop doing that. And what if you have to go through 2 nights living in, like, being on the street in Colombia, like sleeping on a park bench one night after having run away from a homeless dude who tried to steal all your stuff. And then the other night sleeping in a bus terminal with security guards that are like not happy that you're there. And then another night sleeping in the Rutgers library. And then waking up, I was sleeping under a desk, waking up with police boots right in front of me, being like, what the fuck are you doing here? And that was after I wasn't a student anymore. So, like, I wasn't supposed to be. I'm like, here's my ID. They're like, that's last semester. Like, leave.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so, like, what if the universe is like, okay, how bad do you fucking want it? Like, I'm going to throw some shit at you. And that was, like, the crucible that honed me into being so clear. It burnt. It was the idea of a sacred fire, right?
No.
So sacred fire, I mean, a lot of people, like, psychedelics are a sacred fire. Where they can be, where, like, if you step into the sacred fire and it burns away everything that is not you and leaves it cleanses you. But it cleanses you by burning away everything that doesn't belong. And so the universe was like, okay, you want to be a creative entrepreneur? Like, step into this fucking sacred fire.
Dang.
And it burned away everything that wasn't me.
Now, looking back on that experience, what would you have done differently?
Nothing. I know I said that very fast, but nothing. It was imperfect. It was messy. It was scary. I didn't get the lessons the first time sometimes, and sometimes I got them, but, like, didn't embody them, and nothing whatsoever. I wouldn't want to do it again, but I wouldn't have done it differently.
Do you find that things are stable now?
Yes and no. I find that I am more able to, like, my nervous system is attuned to the chaos of being a business owner now. Like, I have a month with no inquiries. Okay, cool. That's whatever. That freaked me the fuck out at first.
Yeah.
You know it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was my first 8 months of real estate. I got paid $0.
Yeah. So you know it.
Yeah.
You and my friend Rex. He was a real estate. He lives here now, but he was doing real estate up in Oregon. Similar idea. He got his real estate license in 1 month, super fast, and he got licensed in 1 month. And it might have been a year. It was a long time, 9 months or like about the same. I don't know, nothing. And then he started selling it. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know it. You know it.
It's spooky.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, to your point, now I'm on year 8, and if I get a month or 2, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So I don't think that things are more stable. I think that I'm more attuned to the journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm more able to hold that reality and feel comfortable in it.
What are you most proud of about who you've become over these past few years?
So much. So much. I mean, I think what my experience being homeless gave me, because I was being homeless following a dream, and I was offered, like, hey, we'll pay for everything. You just got to go back to college. Like, I was offered that and saying no, no, no over and over again when all my family is calling me out, like trying to scare me out of it. It gave me a sense of centeredness when it comes to my purpose. Now, there was other areas of centeredness that I had other things that I needed to work with, but when it comes to, like, this is my goal, this is my mission, and, like, neither sticks nor carrots could get me off of that. Like, there's nothing in this universe I feel anyone can dangle in front of me that would get me to sell out. Or maybe like fast forward 20 years, who fucking knows? But, like, that's how I feel, and that is, like, I don't. Yeah, I mean, like, 'cause, like, anything I want, I feel I can get, because I know I can go through hell to get there, and I don't care, and I'll be fine. So if you're like, hey, here's $1 million, but you have to suck dick on camera, I'd be like, I'm good. Maybe if it was private, but, like, but, like, there's like, I'm not gonna sell out. So that's one thing I'm really proud of.
You can't take that from you.
No.
Nope. And that's invaluable.
Yeah.
Character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I ask this question often. Like, let's say we take money out of the equation.
Sure.
Right? What is one word that people deem valuable in other people? And I think it all boils down to one's character. When you do personal development, you're developing your character.
Mm-hmm.
And that encompasses a ton of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like how you show up for others, how you present yourself, all these types of things. The all-encompassing word is that. So thank you for sharing that, Joe.
My
That's
pleasure.
very, very nice. Let's throw it back a little bit, all right?
Let's do it.
Because we got to know, like, where all this came from. Because not everybody thinks like this. Not everybody's driven like this. And people that went through things that you went through also with the chaotic lifestyle growing up in the household might have chosen a different path.
Yeah.
One that might be a slippery slope downward. But you said no.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I know there's more out there. I'm going to go get it. So let's talk a little bit about the chaos in the household and what it looked like for you, how it shaped you in a positive way, how you chose to let it shape you in a positive way.
I appreciate that.
So, of course, let's throw it back and talk a little bit about that. What was it like?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it.
Feel free to cherry pick and give any version you want of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to go, nuts.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's something that I've processed to the point where I have no more trauma in my body, and I'm very comfortable saying that. I've done centuries of therapy, because every time I do psychedelics, I feel like that's 10 years
Yeah.
of therapy.
For
So
real.
I've done centuries of therapy on this.
Nice job.
Thank you. And one of the things that does come up for me when I talk about this is me and my family are in a great spot. And we've talked about this. We've had fallings out. There were years where I didn't talk to my parents. And we have different stories about why certain things were the way they were when I grew up. And my mom, because I am a public guy, my mom is unhappy when I talk about this in a certain way. So I'm being sensitive to that because I love my mom. We're in a good spot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a little choosy with the way I talk about this because I want it to be real. I want it to be honest. I want it to share the way that I grew up and the way that I see my childhood. And I also want to honor her and her desire for me to not talk about her in the way that I used to.
Sure. So I think the safe path here is simply share your perspective in that time period.
There you go. I like that. Yeah. So my perspective, when I was until 7, my parents and I and my brother, we lived in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And my dad, your face lit up. It smells like chocolate there. It's so beautiful. And we had like a really like idyllic lifestyle. I mean, it seemed like that to me. I don't know what it was like behind the scenes, but my dad and my mom, they were married. They had a good relationship. There were troubles behind the scenes I didn't see, but like things were fine. I had friends. I had we lived in a fucking beautiful, this like quaint house, and everything. There's part of me that used to wonder what life would be like if we didn't move. And I've gotten some comfort there. I no longer really care because I love where I'm at right now. It doesn't matter so much to me, and I've gotten some clarity by exploring and thinking about it, of like where we would be. But we moved from Pennsylvania to California, Northern California, and everything fucking fell apart. All my extended family was on the East Coast, so I would fly back and forth a lot, but my it came out that there was an infidelity in my parents' relationship. My mom and my dad got divorced when I was 9. And my dad, he wasn't managing his money well, so the house that we bought, sold that, and things just went into chaos. And at the time when I was, my parents moved around a lot. They each moved around several times. And so before I was 18, I counted it once. It was like over a dozen houses. Yeah. And so I was constantly being like the longest I lived in any one place is here in Austin, actually. And that was as of like a month or two ago. It surpassed the time that I lived in Hershey. So the longest I lived in any one place is Austin. So Austin is more home than anywhere else, really. And I'm 32. So
You're a young buck.
Yeah. and Austin is more home than anywhere just by time alone. In California, I moved, I'd live in one place for, at the most 3.5 years. And I'd move. And, sometimes it would be even less. And throughout the time, I was put on a lot of medication that I didn't need. And, that's where the ickiness between like how I talk about this is. But, on some level, I believe my mom was trying to help me. She thought that, because I was getting very angsty. I was getting very like fighty, and like she didn't know what the fuck to do. So the solution that she came up with was, okay, I need to go to psychologist, psychiatrist, and get a bunch of medication. And that was also like my parents also did that for themselves. Like they also used a lot of medication to deal with their own symptoms, and my brother, my whole family. And I grew more and more angsty, more and more angry, and I started to shoplift. A lot of teenagers do that, but I would do it every day, at least once a day. I shoplifted energy drinks because my mom didn't like me getting energy drinks, so I'd shoplift energy drinks like 2 or 3 a day. I would shoplift food to and from when I went to school. And my mom started to think that I needed to go to private school. Like she was like trying to figure out how do I like Joe's angry, Joe's anxious, like what's going on? I can't even manage him on my own. Like, what do we do? And so it's like, okay, let's get him to a private school. Into a private school lasted a fucking semester. I started skipping school because going to the private school, it required me to get on a train in the morning and then either get on a cab or go on a train to a bus, to the BART, which is like a rail, in Northern California, train to BART to bus. And it was like a 2-hour commute as a fucking 15-year-old.
That's a lot.
To and from school every day.
That's crazy.
It was a lot, and I was just burned out. And it was also, I didn't like the school, because I was brilliant at math. I was way ahead of a lot of like everybody in my age at math. I was already skipping math classes, like skipping levels in math classes, and I was in 9th grade, and I was supposed to be doing like trigonometry, where I was at, and they put me back in algebra 1. Like a few levels behind, and I was like, this is boring, like I already know this shit, like, and I didn't feel respected. I felt like it wasn't the right school for me. So I started skipping, and then my mom was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So they put me in a group home. And so I was in a group home. It was interesting because I actually had the experience of being a minority. I was the only white guy. Sometimes, so there's 14 spots. There were anywhere from 12 to 14 kids at one time. Every now and then there was another white guy, but he would, it was it was just me or me and one other person. And the other guys were Latino and black, and they were there because maybe their parents were just complete druggies, or like they'd been in and out of juvie. They were there, or they were in the foster system and they didn't have parents. So like there was a lot of chaos in the group home. And I was very controlled, but I was also chaotically controlled, because depending on which staff was staffing or what mood they were in, a lot of the staff had a lot of unresolved issues. So they would lash out at us, and they would be completely chaotic. Like I could say, oh, fuck, and then I'd be grounded for a week, depending on who was there and why and what mood they were in. Or I would say, oh, fuck, and then one of the staff might like joke around with me. Like I didn't fucking, like it was chaos. One time I didn't deep clean my room, as well as one of the leader of the house actually at the time wanted me to. And so he came in and just started throwing my shit away. And some sentimental stuff got thrown away. Like one of my 8th grade girlfriend gave me this like beautiful like bamboo bowl. And I cherished that thing, and he fucking threw it away. Just out of anger.
What a dick.
What an asshole.
For real.
Yeah. So the group
it's not
home.
Fair.
No, it's not. And that group home was very difficult for me, and I was essentially imprisoned. It's what it felt like. I mean, I'm sure prison is worse, but it was like prison light. I think that's a good way to, we had to have our doors open all the time.
Military's kind of like prison light.
Yeah, but you have like a purpose. I don't know. Maybe it's similar.
Yeah, you got a purpose, and yet you're treated very like you have to do everything.
Yeah.
If you talk back, you're done.
Yeah, it's similar to that. Mm-hmm. There's probably a lot of similarities between the group home and prison and the way that things were run, for sure. So yeah, I mean, you can understand.
Yeah,
you can understand that.
It's not that we're meant to be free, and think expressively and express, and those environments aren't conducive to that.
They're not.
So you got out of the group home when?
When I was 18, when I graduated from high school. I thought I was going to get out earlier. I was just fucking chaos, man.
Things must have turned around in your familial unit, because I remember you saying that your folks were paying for college and room and board. So financially, you said your dad might have not at one point been managing things in the best way, but then they turned it around and they could do the college for you?
College was mostly loans for me. They provided a little bit. Okay. So, things didn't quite turn around, but they weren't where they were at the worst.
Okay.
They were managing, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I got out of the group home, I had been, my parents believed that I had a lot of learning disabilities, a lot of emotional disabilities. And that was their belief about me. And so to help me, I was told that I was controlled, put in different programs, I believe they truly thought they were helping me, but I was put in different programs and feeling like I didn't know I had a choice about where I was going with my life. Because it was always like, okay, you're going to group home now. Okay, you're moving here now. It's like, and so when I was 18, my parents made a decision for me that I was going to go into like a halfway house for people with Asperger's, because they were convinced I had Asperger's, and that was part of the reason why I wasn't getting along, why I wasn't developing the way that I was supposed to. And so I went to Florida.
Well, let's
Yeah,
pause just for a second. Why do you think that you weren't developing, quote unquote, the way you were supposed to?
I think the reason I wasn't developing that way was because I was moving around so much and I had a bunch of chaos at home. I didn't have any consistent friends. I didn't have a loving life at home.
You're probably frustrated.
I was very frustrated, and I didn't have any of the nutrients. I wasn't socialized. Like, people didn't want to be friends with me because I didn't know how to be friends with
It
anyone.
lacked safety. It lacked stability.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nurturing environment.
No, it wasn't.
Dang.
It wasn't.
Dang.
It wasn't.
Okay.
And that's something that's kind of obvious to me now. But at the time, I was in it. At the time I was in it, I didn't know what was what. I just wanted freedom, and I wanted to get my needs met. I didn't know what those needs were, so I didn't know how to ask for them. But I just knew that my needs weren't getting met. Like, I didn't feel good, and so I was lashing out a lot. I was very manipulative.
Yeah,
of the people around me.
sometimes kids, other than lashing out, they might just go internal, lock themselves in the rooms and play video games all day, right? It manifests in different ways, and that's just the way it worked for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was at this program in Florida, which was like half of it was people with Asperger's and autism, and half of it was people that is essentially rehab for half of the other people. And I had this therapist where her modality was something called Rogerian therapy, person-centered therapy, where it's non-directed. Like, I'd been in therapy for so long, and the therapists were trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And I finally go to a therapist. It's like her job, the way that she did it, was like essentially just what you're doing, just listening, letting me talk. And the whole idea is that if somebody just listens with what they call unconditional positive regard, then I can start to have the attitude towards myself. And through her therapy, over 6 years working with her, I started to be like, oh shit, like, maybe I'm not dependent. Maybe I do have a choice of what's going on in my life. Maybe I can do what I want to do. And so, to answer your other question is why I went down this road, which is like, most people won't think the way I do about how I dropped out of college, because right after this program was when I went to Rutgers. Like, I got my associate down in Florida, and then Rutgers is in New Jersey for anyone who doesn't know. I went from Florida to New Jersey. So this is like right before all that happened. I had the events of my life gave me such a deep, deep, burning desire for freedom and to live life on my own terms, which makes sense when you think about, like, I don't give a fuck what's in my way. I'm gonna do it. I don't care what anyone wants from me. Screw them. I'm gonna live life my own way, because the events in my life had built up that strong burning desire for freedom, because I had none of it. I'm gonna live life my way.
Yeah, those times, those challenging times, they give us a choice. It's like a big ball of energy that's in our hands, and it's like, what are we gonna do with this? We're either gonna hold it above our heads and let it weigh us down and cripple us, or we're gonna say, no, you know what? I'm gonna stand on this thing and go to the moon. I'm gonna go all the way up. You chose to stand on it. Joe, holy mackerel, dude. I got one just curiosity question before we tie this up here today.
Sure.
What would you say you love the most about you?
That's a good question. What do I love the most about me? think, one of the things I love a lot about me is my determination. The thing I was talking about earlier, where if there's something I want, I'm gonna go for it. I might not be attached to exactly how it shows up, but I'm not. I don't settle. There's no settling. There's no cell of me that is comfortable settling in any way in my life. Another thing I think is a beautiful strength of mine that I love is even with that determination, one of my superpowers is being coachable. To where if I feel like somebody has something to teach me, I'll be just fucking, what do you want, mister? Like, what's fucking Mr. From Karate Kid?
Miyagi.
Yeah. What do you want, Mr. Miyagi? Like, teach me. Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And I will let myself go. I'm like, hey, like, I this is what I think I know, but like, tell me. And that has gotten me through a lot of blocks in my life. So I think those two things together, the determination to be like, if I have a goal, I'm not gonna hustle and grind towards it. I like living a life that I love, which involves balance and involves active recovery and not overworking myself. But I'm not settling. Like, that's happening, and I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah. And
at the same time, being able to humble myself and be like, okay, that person knows something. Teach me, please. Like, I'm gonna let everything I know go. What do you have to teach me?
Love that. Yeah. An open growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to say something before I forget here.
Please.
If your parents are listening, Joe is an awesome dude, well loved in the community, and you should be very proud of who he is because he's freaking cool. He's really cool, and I hope I get to meet y'all one day. Joe, to close us out, what is let's say somebody's watching this 100 years from now. We may or may not be around. Who knows? What's the message you want to send to them?
Check out my passion gyms. They'll be around. You'll have heard of them. And I think one of the things that I want to create with the world is possibility. And it's something in a leadership program, one that you're about to step into, that is a very core distinction of, and this is something that I didn't put a name to it. It was before the leadership program that this is something that really spoke to me. Is possibility. It's like if I'm living in possibility, I see my dreams as possible. I might not know how. I might see a bunch of blocks in the way, but I know that there is some way, somehow, this is going to happen. There's a possibility. If you're like, hey, Joe, if I'm like, I want to be a millionaire before the end of the year. Like, okay, I look at my net worth, and I'm like, okay, that looks a little far off. But there's a possibility. Like, there's a way that could happen. I'm not going to write it off. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to bet my whole fucking life on it, but I'm not going to write it off. And I think that a lot of people are lacking in possibility, and that is something that I have oodles and oodles and oodles of because of my experiences.
You know what's possible.
I know that anything's fucking possible because I've lived it. Mm-hmm. So I think if there's anything in your mind that feels like you got that gridlock thing where you're like, oh, I can't do that because then this and then that's got to move and I can't move because that, like, just decide. Maybe don't even let that go, but just decide to hold that looser. Decide to be like, okay, I'm deciding that what I want is possible. And I don't know how. And even that will loosen everything up a little bit, that some stuff is going to start flowing.
Boom. Fired up, dude.
Fired up.
Joey Buchoff bringing the heat over here at the Elite League podcast on a Sunday afternoon here in Austin, Texas. Joe, the word elite to us means people that are shedding the light in the dark, that are looking to empower others to live a life of abundance and grow and help the common good here. And you definitely fit that mold, man. So thank you so much for coming on today, dude.
Thank you. Your questions, like, you're such an amazing listener, and as well as, like, you're so present that I'm amazed. Best interview I've ever had. Wow. Seriously. And I've been on a few.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
To the top. Let's go.
100%.
Let's go. Folks, you hear it here first. If you like this episode, make sure to hit that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. And I'm your host, Greg Carlson. Most importantly, stay fired up. Till next time.